Hello, welcome to episode 11 of my Knitting Not Screaming podcast. As you'll see, new location, we've done a bit of decorating, so it's a bit brighter down here now. It can be a bit gloomy towers in here, to be honest, because we've got trees at the front and the back, so the light can be a bit, and it was a darker colour on the walls in here, so it wasn't so great, which is why I was upstairs in the spare room, which is a bit boring to look at, I think. So let's crack on, shall we? I have finished some things, which is why I'm here. I only really record when I finish bits, and this time I have finished a few things. I don't really have an Etsy update this week because I haven't made any new project bags. I have made some snoods because I'm always making snoods. I don't have a snood on today. Normally I always wear one, but I've literally just washed my hair, and if you are someone who puts their hair up, you will know that freshly washed hair is absolutely useless for doing anything with. Can't even when I put a snood on, it was just sort of, it was moving too much, and it wasn't taking more pins, and I couldn't be, but I hadn't put any setting lotion or anything in my hair, nothing, none of that sort of grippy stuff, and to be honest I just couldn't be bothered today, so here we are, snoodless for once. So yeah, the only thing I've done Etsy shop wise is update my black snoods. I've got all three sizes of those in stock, and I've made this nice sort of burgundy wine colour one. Pop that up in there, that's where they live before I put them away. And this sort of classic camel sort of trench coat colour, which is actually pretty much the colour that I was going to wear today, and then changed my mind. So that's it for Etsy stuff. So just straight into knitting and things you might be pleased to hear. I have finished 2 shawls, count them, two shawls, so unlike me. I'm really pleased with myself. I finished my Have It Both Ways, and now it's done. I really like it. I do really like it. I can't say I really enjoyed knitting it. I mean, it's a really easy pattern. The actual pattern is nice to knit. I wasn't massively keen on the yarn. I'm not. See, it's nice, isn't it? I haven't blocked it because it's cotton, so I just didn't bother. And I don't feel like it really needs it. Anyway, it's a nice kind of more summery kind of thing. It makes me think of like ice creams. And obviously you can fold it in half and have like just the ice creamy colours or the sunshine yellow colour showing if you want, which is actually quite nice. Makes it quite a versatile thing. Anyway, I'm not a massive fan of cotton yarn, and this is really like quite sort of slubby cotton yarn. It's very sort of thick and thin. That's what it's supposed to be like. It's you know the Karen Ripple cakes, it's 2 of those. You don't use anywhere near all of the yarn, so I feel like you could make it much bigger. I felt like I wasted quite a lot of the yarn because I don't really know what else I'm going to do with it other than make face cloths with it. But I don't really like the cotton face cloths either. I like making them, and I don't really have anyone to give them to, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with that yarn. I wish I had just carried on with this, made it bigger. But yeah, I'm really pleased that that's done. And I don't think I'll be making anything else with that yarn again. I wouldn't, well, put it this way, I wouldn't buy any more of that yarn. It's not horrible, I didn't hate it, it's just not my thing. But I will wear this. I mean, it's a bit stupid to make it in sort of summery colours when in summer you don't really want a shawl, do you? Even though it's been sort of rainy, it's been quite warm with the rain, warm and humid. So I've not, well, I wore it once for a walk along the seafront at Southsea, and it was too hot for that, and that was quite a sort of drizzly grey day, and it was too hot for this. So I don't really know what I'm going to do with that. In fact, I don't really know what I'm going to do with any of my shawls, because I've got a ton of them. I've made loads of shawls, loads and loads, and I don't wear all of them, anywhere near all of them. In fact, most of them are in underbed storage, which is a shame, isn't it? So if anyone has any ideas of what you can do with shawls that you've made but don't particularly wear, I'd like to know, because I don't think there's really any sort of charities you can give them to, and I don't have anyone in my friends and family who would use them, so it's a bit difficult, isn't it? I don't know how you, maybe I should just make more effort to wear them, but I tend to find that once it gets to the sort of weather where you wear them, I tend to rotate the same 2 or 3, and it will usually be the ones that I've just made that I wear a lot. Anyway, perhaps I just need to make more effort. Now that second shawl I finished, says the woman who's complaining about not really wearing her shawls, is a test knit, and that's so exciting for me because I've never done a test knit before. I just wanted to see what it was like to do one, really. Oh my god, I loved it. It was so good. I mean, I don't know that I would do another one because I've got so many patterns that that need to be knit in my queue and my Ravelry library, and printed and in books and what have you. Thousands of them, must be thousands of them. And if I live to be 152, I can't possibly make them all. So what business I've got joining test knits, I don't know, but I just wanted to experience it, and it is actually really enjoyable. It's very much like being in an MCAL. Well, not an MCAL because you know what it's going to look like at the end, but you know, it's a bit like being in a knit along, except you talk to the designer while you're knitting and flag up things in the pattern that you find difficult, or you think, if you think there might be an error somewhere. Like in this one, there were in the list of abbreviations, someone spotted there were 2 abbreviations in there that weren't used in that pattern. So I mean, that's a simple delete. So, and it doesn't really affect your knitting, does it? But the designer was pleased that someone spotted it and she could delete that from the pattern. And anyway, it's just really enjoyable, and it's nice that it has that sort of community feel when everyone likes each other's photos and you sort of chat as you go along. It's lovely, really lovely. And I only found out about that test knit from watching the Ruth Loves to Knit podcast, where she mentioned that it was coming up and that she would like to do it, but she didn't have time. So I jumped in, and I couldn't believe that they accepted me, because I've never done a test knit before, and it was for Helen Kennedy, who is quite a well-known designer, isn't she? So I was really surprised and pleased that she let me in, and here is mine. And it is teasable, which means apparently that I can show it, because there's already a DK version of this shawl released during the pandemic, I think. Anyway, it's called the Always Be Brave shawl. This is the sock yarn version. So, am I showing the wrong end here? I'm showing the wrong end first. You start off at this end. Mine is all sort of airy because it's mine's got quite a lot of silk in it. So can you see, you get this they look like little chains. So you start off with like your main colour as the background, and then you do these sort of chains that's really only using slip stitches. It's really simple, and then towards the end you flip, and so your second colour becomes your main colour, and your main colour becomes the chain colour. It's really good, isn't it? Now I didn't realise, but my main colour, I didn't have quite enough yardage to finish. So I've ordered a mini skein of it, and I have cast off because the deadline to finish it is 2nd of September. I've asked for a mini skein from the yarn dyer, but she's away on holiday and not back until during September. So when she sends that, I didn't block my cast off too aggressively because I'll unpick, because it's got a lovely I-cord cast off, which is also amazing. I'd love an I-cord bind off. I'm going to unpick my I-cord bind off, and then I'm going to add in the missing repeat, just because I think it throws the weight of it out a little bit, the balance of the the colours, and I'm going to add in that missing repeat and then bind off again. And I'm so happy with it. I think this would make an absolutely amazing scrappy project, because where all of these chains are, you could just use, it doesn't use up an awful lot of yarn to do that, and I think you can use up quite a lot of scraps, or like mini skeins, and maybe like use 2 skeins the same for the background colour, but change all your chain colours, could just change as you go along, and it would be amazing. What I think it would. I've gone for quite a low contrast because I love these 2 yarns, and I don't really have, well, actually I do have quite a few. See, I do have quite a few brown shawls already. I love these colours and I love these yarns, and I wanted yarns with a similar fibre content, and one of these has got alpaca in and the other one doesn't, but they are both silk merino blends, and it's super soft and drapey, and when I hold it up it looks quite see-through, but see, now I've got it on, now I've got it on, you can see it better when it's against something else. See how smashing is that? I really recommend that. So I think that will be out soon, because the testing it finishes 2nd of September, I think. So once the testing it's done, I don't really know what goes on with publishing patterns. I don't really know how all that works, but once the testing is done, surely it must be released sometime fairly soon. I reckon it must be released sometime in September, mustn't it? Anyway, if you can't wait that long and you've got DK yarn, there is a DK version already available, and I think she's got a website and she's on Ravelry, so if you want one, and I definitely recommend it. It's so easy to remember the repeat. It's a really simple repeat, and once you've done it a couple of times, it's just one of those things that will just sort of sit in your head. I mean, I like to have the pattern out next to me just to sort of glance at as I go along anyway, but after a while you don't really need to. And she gives you a stitch count for each set of repeats, so it's easy to spot if you've gone awry. I mean, you would tell as you were knitting anyway, just because of the way the pattern works. I'll let you see that for yourself when you buy the pattern, because you need to. I finished, oh no, I donated them. So, oh dear, my phone's dinging away. Someone really popular has tagged me in a post where she's wearing one of my snoods, so now everyone's commenting on her post, because she's pretty cool, and she always gets lots of mentions on her posts, lots of comments, so it makes my phone ding a lot, which is marvellous. What was I going to show you? Yeah, my asparagus. Now then, I finished them, but they were for the Harvest Festival at a local church, who hold a knitting group that I go to on Tuesdays. So I've already handed them in, but I can show you them on my phone. There they are. I don't know if I showed you them because I changed the way I was doing them. Is that better there? Oh, I don't know. I think you're just going to get glare no matter what. See, like that was originally, that was the pattern is to stuff them with toy stuffing, but it was just making them a bit sort of fat and floppy, and they were quite funny. I mean, everyone at the knitting group just laughed every time I brought them out. So instead, yeah, look, see, little fat stubby asparagus, and so instead I stuck a straw up them, which made them much longer and thinner, and they look so much better. And I do really like them. I'm really impressed with the way they turned out personally. I'm really happy with them, but I will never ever knit asparagus again so long as I live. It was super fiddly diddly, and I'm not here for that. So I do like doing the odd charity knit, but I don't really like making baby clothes. I find baby clothes a bit boring. Well, I find babies boring. But I just don't. There's never really anything that comes up that I really fancy doing much. Oh, I like doing the hats thing. Who is it that does that? I always forget to do the Marie Curie socks. Always forget to do that, and I always mean to do it. But yeah, I don't know. I suppose there's a baby blankets thing, isn't there? But by the time I see a post for a hospital that wants a baby blanket, generally the hospitals are already saying, we've got way too many, stop sending. So I don't really know. But I would like to be able to make some things to give away, because I can't possibly use all the things that I make. So that's a bit, I don't know, I find that a bit awkward sometimes. What do you do with all your knits? I love knitting shawls, I don't necessarily want to wear them. I've made some lovely hats, I don't really wear them. What do you do? What do you do? Oh look, I made a note of myself. I'm going to, do you know what? I've just won a ticket to go to Unravel, and I've just turned my little booklet for podcast notes. I've found a page that says things to buy at Unravel, and the first thing is nothing. You don't need any more stuff. Anyway, and then I've listed things I'm going to buy. So I suppose we are on to whips, aren't we? I'm not going to show you my vintage sweater again, because I finished the front and the back and they're identical, so if you've seen them before, you've seen it. I've nearly finished the first sleeve. I've got the second little sleeve to do, and they are only like little short sleeves, so I think I will save that to show you when it's all done. I'm going to have a little sip of squash. Sorry if you got, apparently I've got a really loud swallow, so sorry if you could hear that. That's probably a bit grim. Now then, yeah, no, I'm not going to show you that until it's done, I think, because you must surely be sick of seeing the same thing over and over again. I have, oh, I can show you these that I'm going to. These are up. Oh dear, I've just knocked everything over. Never mind. These are the next Snoods coming up. There's this orange cotton. That's a nice, basically autumnal colour, and someone has, I've just dropped this. Look, I've got the yarn everywhere, and someone's just requested one in this olive colour. I call it bamboo in the shop because that's the yarn manufacturer's name for it, and it just makes it easier for me when I want to reorder the yarn. But she's right, there is more of an olive than a bamboo colour in my head. So my next things I can show you my temperature blanket. Which has gone quite samey. I like it. There's not many pops of the bright pink anymore, because even though we have had some warm days, we haven't really got as hot as I feared we would get. I'm not really a hot weather person. So yeah, this is This is August so far. That was the other day when it got super hot. But generally, it's these sort of greens and blues, which mean it's pretty dashed warm, but not too hot. So yeah, so that's from that green. Oh, that little green progress keeper. That's August. But you'll see, like, August isn't, and it's not that different to July. Although July had more pink in it. Anyway, that's that. It's so long now. I can't tell you how long it look. It's so super long. What am I going to do with this beast? It's only August. I don't know. I think I am going to have to make it into like a big sort of blanket that I seam together. Because I do want to make another one. I do want to carry on making them like every year, and then just sort of sew them together. And the only thing I can think to do with them is sew them, all these big strips together, and put the, I'm going to write the year on a piece of ribbon with fabric marker pen, and just sew that onto it, so I know which year is which. And then it'd be just interesting, won't it, to see what changes from year to year. And if I sew them side by side, I'll make it like super obvious, won't it? But I'm really enjoying that, and I've not once got behind with it. I haven't done today's colours, but I mean, it's only, what time is it? Oh, it's only 3:30. So I do those when I've watched Tipping Point, which is what I usually do. I work from home, so I'm always home for Tipping Point. And I generally only work in my, my day job in the mornings, and that leaves me all afternoon free to do my Etsy things, which is marvellous. So yeah, that's a temperature blanket. Oh, I have a little bit of embroidery to show you. Is that nice, isn't it? Though I say so myself. It's my own design. Obviously, woman with a snood. And I've got one more line of snood netting to embroider, and I'm using like a tiny little reverse chain stitch to mimic the shape of the chain stitches I use to crochet snoods. And then I've got quite a lot of the hair to do, so I've got a lot of fringe to fill in this whole victory roll top section of hair, and then I have to fill in this snood with hair as well. So that's quite a lot. Today's a Friday, and Friday is generally my embroidery day. I try and concentrate on different things, unique. Tomorrow is a weaving day, and I'm also not showing you my weaving this time because I've made no progress on that at all since the last time I showed it to you, because we've been decorating. So really most of my spare time has been spent, oh god, we've got a spiral staircase here, and it's a metal one so you can get your arms through it, but it's super awkward. We are never painting again. I had to spend an awful lot of time crouched up the back painting like that. Oh, very tight space. So yeah, we won't be decorating again anytime soon. Although having said that, it took us 3 years to do it, and when we moved in, all of our walls were this horrendous, like Angel Delight blancmange colour, horrible. And we've lived with that for 3 years, with me hating it every time I look up. I hated it, and we just didn't get around to it because we are a little bit useless. Now, did I tell you I won an Unravel ticket? I'm so pleased. I've won an entrance ticket to go to Unravel. I was thinking like I might not even go to the autumn one, even though I really love it. I was thinking of not going, purely because I don't need any more stuff, and also I'm going to the Goodwood Revival this year, so for me that's quite a lot to pack into one weekend because I'm not very peoply. I'm quite a loner, so that's a lot of people very close, all in one weekend. So yeah, but I've won a ticket, so I've got to go now, haven't I? Gotta go and enjoy myself, and spend all my money on things that I don't know what I'll do with. I've bought partly why I'm down here is not only because you can see me now, I bought blooming tripod, so no more like last couple of podcasts I've recorded, crash bang wallop, because I record on my tablet. And I've only dropped the blooming thing, and I didn't drop it. It fell off the. I've got one of those like little cushion things, you know, like where there's sort of a bag, like a big bean bag for your tablet. And the one I've got is a little bit overstuffed, I think. So things don't sit on it quite that comfortably, and it sort of gradually shifts. And every time it gradually shifts and just chucks my tablet straight off it. So I've bought a proper tripod, and it's got like a gooseneck thing, and you can angle it in all different directions, and it's also really good for. I just took pictures of myself with that "Always Be Brave" shawl on for my Ravelry page, and and they're ridiculous. And I've gone all like super. I don't know why I did, but I went all super extra pouty, and then I look ridiculous. But at least I could take them because I had the tripod. Because otherwise, I've got to do the holding the phone out thing, and that never works. So at least now I can take proper pictures of things, but I have to remember to not be an idiot and not go all kind of like. There's one like really ridiculous one. I'm doing that, but I'm leaving it. I'm gonna own my own ridiculousness. Do feel free to go and have a look and have a laugh. I'm knitting not screaming on Ravelry as well, so should be fairly easy to find. So yeah, that's my only purchase really. I haven't bought any yarn. I am on the lookout for some yarn to make a jumper for the mister, so I can show you it, but he would like basically the yarn that's in the picture, and but he can't have that because it's an American brand and it's an old pattern. So I'm not paying shipping for yarn to be sent over from America, because that would cost a chuffing fortune, wouldn't it? And I don't even know if that yarn's still available, and I'm not looking whether it is, because if I find out that it is available, what am I going to do? I'm going to buy the chuffer, aren't I? I'm going to buy it. So yeah, that's the jumper I'm going to make for the mister. My little pretty cat's just coming, if you can hear a little bit of tinkling. And now she's got a thin brown paper, so you're going to hear her crinkling about on brown paper. Hello Puddy, hello Lulu. She's so beautiful. I wish she would jump up here so you could see how beautiful she is. I can't pick her up. She does not like being picked up. Anyway, I'm going to make him this jumper, and he wants that yarn or something very similar to it. And of course, it's all still summer colours in the shop, so I can't find anything like that at the moment. I've got a feeling that like the winter colours should be coming to the shops quite soon, and I've got a feeling that so one of the big brands, who is it that does, is it Stylecraft? I think Stylecraft usually bring out something in those sort of red and black variegated colourways. And that's like that's knitted in double moss stitch, so that's going to be a joy to make. So I don't want to stripe, I don't want to buy different colours and stripe it. I want the yarn to do the work, because I'll have enough on my plate not swearing at moss stitch, double moss stitch. Not just moss stitch, it's double moss stitch. Which might actually make it more bearable, mightn't it? So yeah, so I'm on the lookout for that. They won't have anything like that at Unravel, because it's all, hand-dyed fabulousness. And to be honest, the last jumper I made for him was made with this beautiful alpaca yarn from Pennybridge Farm, which is an alpaca farm in Hampshire, and he's only worn it like twice in like 4 or 5 years. He reckons because it's too special and he doesn't want it to be ruined, but I'm like, if you wear it, I can fix it if anything happens to it, and if I can't fix it, I'll just make you another one. But I'm not making you another one if you don't wear that one. Why would I? But anyway, apparently I will. So my other whip, sorry, can you hear Lulu crinkling? She's such a little darling. I love her so much. I'm making this Lavender Fields shawl, which was that part? Yeah, that was from a Helen Stewart Curious Handmade Shawl Society. That'll be some years ago. I'm very good at signing up to these things and then not actually doing them. But it's a really, this is only like a description. It doesn't actually show any pattern stuff. It's really lovely and I want the thing. But the first thing you do is like a lot of garter. So you make like a big sort of triangle, and then you pick up stitches all around the edge, and then you do all like the other sort of textury, patterny, lacy stuff, which will be smashing, and I can't wait to get to that. When you start it, it's got quite a funny thing with this, because you do a yarn over at the start of the row, which makes it have this sort of lacy edge. For now, super scruffy edge. Look at that, how scruffy is my edge. Oh, it's not attractive, is it? But once you pick those stitches up and knit into them, you won't see them anymore. Well, you know, you'll get like a little holy gappy bit that will look really cute. But when you first start this, like when you're down here, oh, sorry, gosh, I'm wafting this back. It's lace weight, so it's all wafty. But yeah, when you've only got that much of it, it looks very much like you're knitting a pair of frilly knickers, which I find a bit off-putting. So this has been sort of relegated for a long time while I did other things that were, because it is just a lot of just garter, which is super easy to do in front of the TV and stuff, but like I think my rows now are like over 200 stitches, and it's lace weight, and I've gone for navy blue, so not brilliant for doing in the evening, and especially when this room was dark as well, that didn't really work very well. So on the pattern there was like you got your sort of solid colour bit, and then your contrast panel that we'll pick up and knit stuff on later. And I didn't have any other lace weight. I think I bought that just on a whim from Handmade Studios, just because it was pretty shade of blue. So it's a nice sort of, oh, like a navy blue that's not too navy, if you know what I mean. It's not too dark. It's quite a bluey navy. Does that sound ridiculous? Maybe it does, I don't care. So I needed a colour that went with it, and I fancied something. I mean, I always want stripes if I can get them. So I bought this from someone's D-stash on Ravelry or Etsy or Facebook or some Facebook group maybe. It's nice, isn't it? I'm going to really enjoy that. And I might do the old, yeah, I'm going to do a centre pull so that I don't lose the thing. It's a brand I've never heard of before. Nako Angora Luks colour. Great, whatever that means. And you can make a Yamakatan shawl. Oh no, sorry. Oh, you idiot, Tanis. That's just, you can make one shawl in a ball. The word that I just said is just a whatever language that this yarn is from. Oh, it's Turkish. But it's a Turkish that I've massacred and butchered. Sorry. Oh, I'm such a spanner sometimes. Oh, I do enjoy being me and being such a spanner. But this has got 80% acrylic, but it's premium acrylic. 15% wool and 5% mohair. Crikey, that mohair works. Woo, mohair makes all the difference. So I'm really nearly at the bit where I cast off along the top, and then we start working along the side, and I can't wait for that, because then I'm only a few rows before I start using that second colour. And the navy is West Yorkshire Spinners Exquisite. £14.75 I paid for that. It's not bad, is it, really? Because you get like acres of it, don't you, with your lace weight. So yeah, hopefully next time I see you, I might actually be on the colour bit of that, which would be nice. So, apart from books and what I've been doing, nothing. I don't think I've got a lot to tell you now. So, if you're not interested in what books I've been reading, then shame on you, but see ya. But, yeah, I don't really have any plans for doing anything much, but then I won that Unravel ticket, so that's a joyful thing. And I'm definitely going to Goodwood Revival. I'm only going for one day though. I can't do camping. I need hot and cold running electricity at all times. Oh, Bank Holiday Monday coming up. We're going to go to Petersfield. It's a really pretty town, not too far from here. They've got their summer fair thing on. And they have like kind of farmers market-y type stalls and crafts and things. I bought some amazing earrings last time. And they have music on, and the Mr. point blank refused to sit and watch the Sally Army band with me last time, but now I feel like I'm owed, so we are definitely going to watch them this time. And apart from that, we haven't really been anywhere, apart from we always go for like little walks on the seaside. I do that quite regularly whenever it's a nice day and the Mr's not at work, because he works shift, so he's quite often working at weekends. And I work during, well, I can work weekends too, it just depends what work my boss gives me. So yeah, that's all the excitement, but I think that's pretty exciting. I think I'm really chuffed about Unravel, and really excited about Revival, but I just find like lots of people quite intimidating, so I look forward to things, but I also kind of dread them as well. Do you feel like that ever? Is that just me? I keep picking this book up to tell you what books I've read and then not telling you and putting it down again. I'm all over the place. Oh, for my book group, my digital readers book group run by Hampshire Libraries, the choice this month was The Man in the Bunker by Tom Wilde. It's terrible. Terrible. Like, really bad. Way too violent for me. You know, like when you feel like the authors are really getting off on violence. No, thank you. I also read, you know, that book you've probably seen. It's got quite a striking cover. I'm going to have to show you on my Goodreads. The Mindfulness in Knitting by Rachael Matthews. It's always got the look of a sort of gifty book to me. But I thought it'd be quite nice because I quite like things like, I do like things like meditation and guided meditation. I'm not so keen on doing like exercises. If it tells you to do a little project in a notebook, then I won't. That book, you must have seen that. You must have seen that somewhere. You see? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Anyway, didn't really get into it. I found it quite hard to read. I don't know why. It just, you know, sometimes with a book you have to just sort of kind of force yourself through it. And it wasn't my cup of tea at all. And yeah, I was pretty disappointed with that, to be honest. I also read this Creativity by John Cleese, an audio book, so it's him reading it. It's right. It's a free audio download from my library, so I'm glad I didn't pay for it, put it that way. It was that good. This is The Man in the Bunker book, although I kind of almost don't want to show you the cover so in case it encourages you. It's so bad, it's kind of like I also actually want to stop people from reading it. Basically the premise of it is that Hitler faked his suicide at the end of the war, and then these guys go and find him. It was awful. I read an Agatha Raisin on audio. Agatha Raisin and the Haunted House. I mean, if you've read any Agatha Raisin books, they're all pretty much for muchness, but I love them. I think they're really good fun. She is quite old-fashioned, the author. I always wonder about the author when I read one of those, because she has some really old-fashioned views on things that she plays out through Agatha. Like she talks about women being women's libbers, which, like, who said that since 1968? No one. Yeah, women's libbers, and she has a massive problem with secretaries, younger women dating older men. Just, I don't know. There's a lot of things that she thinks people working in an office always want to shag the boss and marry the boss, and that's all that women want to do, is marry the boss. So, I mean, that kind of says more about Agatha than anything, because Agatha's literally obsessed with getting a husband. But I kind of, sometimes I think with books like that, when it's a theme that's repeated and repeated, I always think that says more about the author than the character sometimes. So yeah, I did enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to reading the next one. And I'm on, I think, that was Agatha Raisin and the Haunted House. I think that's number 13 in the series, and I think there's about 30 all told, so work to do. My current read, which I've only started it, I'm on page 60, so I'm not really anywhere into it because there's like 400 pages. Pear Shaped by Stella Newman. Really good so far. I like those sort of light-hearted romances. After that Hitler book, In the Bunker, whatever it's called, in the dumpster, after that I just want some light-hearted, fun, silly things to read. This isn't necessarily silly. I mean, this is about someone's emotional life. So it's really good. That's really good. She's a food product developer working for the country's 7th biggest supermarket. Anyway, it's fun and I'm enjoying it, and the guy that she's started seeing, I'm pretty sure is going to turn out to be a hound, but enjoyable nonetheless. And I think that is pretty much it, apart from my viewing recommendations this month. I'm going to say, and I can't believe I've not said this before, Stitched by Mrs. D. I love her. She's one of my all-time favourites. She's just, I don't know, she's just herself. If you've not watched her before, you need to go and watch her, because she's just, I don't know, she's just great. You know, one of those people you just think like, oh, I'd love to go for a cup of tea with you, just like bump into you at a yarn festival and just go and have a cup of tea. I think she'd be brilliant. Anyway, she's a character, and I love what she does. She's got she makes teddy bears, these like hand stitched. She designs them, and she does all like little accessories for them, and like a little case for them to sleep in with their bedding and everything, and little outfits. And it's a subscription thing. They're not toys, they're art, and they're pretty reasonable for the amount of hours that she must take hand stitching all of that stuff, because it's so fiddly diddly, like on small scale, that I don't think you could get it under a sewing machine. Maybe you can. I mean, she's talented. She would be better than me at that sort of stuff. But anyway, however she does them, you have to go and watch her if you haven't watched her already, because she's brilliant. And on TV, we watched Vanishing Act. It's based on a true story of this Australian con woman who she passes herself off as like a trader or like an investment broker, and she rips off her own family and her friends, and then she sort of networks into all their contacts. Like there's a guy who's like a pool cleaner, and only people who are well off have pools in their houses, don't they? So she basically wipes them all out, and she takes millions of pounds off them, and then anyway, the authorities are onto her, and they've been monitoring her for ages, and then it all starts crashing down. They raid her house, they take loads of stuff away, and then she just disappears. And this this series, it's only about, you know, like 5 or 6 episodes. It's all about, you know, like what happened, and about like the story of like how it gets to the point where she disappears. It's so good. It's so good. And you're left, and no one really knows what happened to her. Like, has she faked her death? Is she, or did she die? Who knows? So that, I really recommend that. And that, I know I've said it about 15 times now already, but that really is it. I have nothing else for you. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you've enjoyed sitting with me this afternoon. I've enjoyed talking to you. Please, 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 please hit the like and subscribe button, otherwise no one will ever see these. Although, I mean, that wouldn't be a disaster, would it? Because this is just me filling my time enjoying myself, so up to you. But it would be lovely if you would do that for me. And I hope to see you again soon, in the not too distant, with, hopefully, I will finish that pink vintage style sweater, and I'll put it on. I've got like a little bust thing. Like, it won't fit me anywhere near me because it's like a 35-inch bust, and I don't think I've ever been a 35-inch bust. So that's ultimately going to end up in my Etsy shop. But I really hope to have that finished soon. It's got quite a strange neck opening arrangement, which I think is going to take a bit of working out, because vintage patterns don't hold your hand so much as modern patterns do. So, lovely seeing you. I'm going to let you go, and this is a short one for me, so that's brilliant. So, take care. See you soon. Bye bye.